Well, it's that time of the year again. It is my 23rd birthday. I always like to make one of these videos every year on my birthday, a little recap of what's happened in my life this year. But this year I'm actually going to combine it with a few things. I'm going to talk a little bit about the SAFE Act. I'm going to talk a little bit about my 23rd birthday, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on my channel. Why has it been, kind of missing lately? I haven't been making as many videos as many of you may have noted. But let's talk about this last year. December 1st, this time last year, it was my 22nd birthday, and I was doing something similar to this. But that's not really the most important thing. What is what happened 2 weeks later, the infamous Sandy Hook. Now, some of you still believe the official story out there, and that's good for you. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, I'll just tell you that I don't. Some of you still believe that an AR-15 was used. Again, I won't tell you what to believe, I just tell you that it wasn't. What actually was used was a 6-hour P226 and a Glock 20, but you won't hear that on any of the media because that doesn't really go well with the whole agenda. And this is not one of those Alex Jones crazy things. It's been pretty much shown across the board that there's no evidence of any AR-15 being used, which you can feel either way about that, but I ask, I'm always a skeptic. Okay, there seems to be some questions about this, so prove to me that AR-15 was used. Show me some bullet holes, show me some shell casings, anything like that. Well, no. What they did release about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, was the Sandy Hook evidence. Now, what the Sandy Hook evidence might think would be some videos of the shooter walking in, some crime scene photos, some shell casing, stuff like that. Oh no, what this was some guns laid out on a table with those little evidence tent cards next to them. Like there might be the number 1, 2, 3, 4, and they'll place them next to the things to show that they're pieces of evidence. Now, I don't know about you, but I could also get a table and put some guns on it and put those cards next to there and call it evidence. Hell, I could call it evidence that 9/11 was an inside job. And, well, I guess if people are stupid enough to believe that about Sandy Hook, and that that's evidence of what happened, then I guess I could get them to believe anyway. It's just a few pictures. It's some guns on a table, then a glass door that looks like it's shot through with a hole far too small for anybody to get through, let alone somebody with a whole bunch of tactical gear on. But anyway, don't worry about that. Don't question them. I'm sure there's no ill intent there. But if you're unaware, on December 15th or 16th, something like that, Sandy Hook Elementary School was shot up with an AR-15 by a mentally disturbed 20-year-old white person. Yeah, if you believe that story, that is the official story. There's obviously more to it than that. But what really gets me about it is the secrecy surrounding it. Now, Columbine, you can easily make a Google search. You can find pictures of the dead shooters. You can find videos of them actually going through the school and doing it. You can find, just evidence all over the place. Sandy Hook, gag orders and no surveillance camera videos were allowed, and my personal favorite, they demolished the school. So there's no question asking, we're going to go ahead and demolish the entire school. They didn't even demolish Columbine, which you think would be the bigger thing, because now school shootings are like left and right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, school shoot up day. But Columbine hadn't happened yet. Columbine was kind of like the first big shebang. Maybe it had happened before, but the one that everybody knows about when they think school shootings is Columbine, because it hadn't happened in a while, or it hadn't happened ever, and it was a big thing. I don't know, it might have been the most that had ever been killed yet. But even then, they didn't demolish the school and say everybody couldn't talk about this and couldn't talk about that. Like I said, Google search, you can find everything that you would want. Sandy Hook, bury it. Let's demolish the school. So that's a little strange, but that happened on December 15th, and then January 15th, we got the New York SAFE Act, which has been pretty much the description for my last year between 22 and 23. Yes, about 15 days before, until Sandy Hook, from December 1st to December 15th, I guess I was a regular normal person, but it seems that this entire year has been spent with thinking about or doing stuff with something about the SAFE Act. So January 16th, 15th, something there, the SAFE Act passed, and it was passed in a legislative manner. That's what I was actually talking to somebody online that actually said that. It was about as legit passing as a shotgun wedding is a legit marriage. Sure, if you put a shotgun to somebody's head, I'm sure they'll say I do, and I'm sure they'll sign off on the SAFE Act. But it doesn't mean it's actually a real legislative process. If you're unaware, it passed in the middle of the night under a false message of necessity, which is supposed to only be used for absolute imminent threats to the state, like, I don't know, a nuclear bomb is about to go off and there's something that needs changed there, which even then I'm not sure if I would go ahead and change the laws up. I like to believe that the laws are there for a reason. You can't just change them all willy-nilly and stuff like that. But anyway, it was passed in the middle of the night. People did not read it. In fact, I believe I've mentioned before, it's like 30 pages long, and if you read it and you actually want to understand, I mean, you could read it in probably a couple minutes, but if you read it and actually want to understand it, it would probably take about an hour a page, so 30 hours, and they were given about 40 minutes to read it. And they voted on it, and then soon thereafter, when the absolute outrage was coming in, not only do we get, well, I didn't read it, we get, well, it probably shouldn't have passed. Personally, I think if you vote on a bill and you later say, I didn't read it, instantly, without question, you should be removed from the seat. Without no process, no democratic process. If you come out and say, I did not read the bill that I voted on, that should be like somebody that committed a murder saying, I murdered the person, here's my confession. Instantly, you should be removed from the seat. And how you're going to be replaced, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some other process. This is just my own kind of fantasy here, which, I don't know. Who the hell knows what I'm talking about, right? So it was passed in the middle of the night. Nobody read it. They heard that it shouldn't have. They think it shouldn't have passed. But of course they're not going to go ahead and try to give you your rights back, because they'll take rights like that. But rarely do you ever get them back. It's take first and don't really ask questions later. It's just don't worry about it. It's already been passed. Nothing you can do about it. That's always the way that it seems. So that's pretty much what the main thing that my last year has been focusing on, this New York SAFE Act. I've been to 2 rallies. One that was on February 28th, and I think one that was in April. The one on February 28th was huge. I think there was 11,000 people there, which is the biggest rally that's ever been held in the New York Capitol in Albany. And the one that in April was a little bit disappointing because it showed that the momentum was dying down. So that's not good. But hey, at least we still had our rally. And I did meet some good people from New York Firearms there, so I enjoyed it. But there's been so many issues that have happened with the SAFE Act over this between the time that I was 22 and 23 that it really seems that it's taken over my life here. But I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, it's a bad thing because I'd rather just live in freedom. But it's also a good thing because it's reminded me that you got to keep fighting this stuff. And if you think, well, don't worry about it, nothing's going to get changed and all that stuff. I need to remind you because some people are unaware. January 15th in New York, where, say, let's compare New York and, Tennessee. In Tennessee, if you want to go shooting on January 15th, and you don't have any ammo, you want to go to your local Walmart, your local gun store, and something like this, you would take your box of ammo and you would put it up on the counter. They would ring it up, and they would tell you how much it is, and you would pay. In New York, you would go to your local gun store, go to Walmart, and you would take your ammo and you put it on the counter, and they'd say, we can't sell this to you. So you must be, well, I'm 18, I'm 21, I'm not a felon or anything like that. Well, we can't sell this to you because there's no system to sell it. If that doesn't ingrain into your head how bad things are still, you need to think about that. On January 15th, you will no longer be able to buy ammo in New York State. But why is that? Well, there was 2 provisions in this unsafe act that they decided to put through. A background check and a registry. You were going to have to fill out a 4473, and you were going to have to fill out, or get all your name and info and social security number, all that stuff. Occupation, record, that's one I don't understand. I don't understand what the fuck your occupation has to do with anything to do with ammo. I don't even know what they were thinking when they thought of that. But the background check thing is unfunded because they were originally just going to use the NICS check, the NICS database and stuff like that, but NICS told them to F off. And they were going to they have to make state database for background checks, but they don't have the money and they don't have the resources. So that got canned, but what they do have still that hasn't been voted down, the reason you won't be able to buy ammo on the 15th of January is because the registry is not created. You're going to have to register your name, address, occupation, all that stuff in a database, a state database, state police database, and it doesn't exist. So for a seller to sell ammo to somebody on the 15th, your info has to be entered into a database that doesn't exist. This actually passed. This law actually passed. So if you're wondering if they read it or not, this law actually passed. The same law that didn't exempt police officers from the 7-round limit, which they shouldn't be. They should have the exact same limits as the regular citizens. They're no better or worse than any of us. In fact, some of them act a little bit worse when they think they're better. This law actually passed. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so that's kind of why I think that this is the only thing that I've been thinking about pretty much in New York since my 22nd birthday here, 23rd birthday. I have a feeling that I was a lot happier last birthday because, hey, your birthday, congratulations, you're another year. Whereas this, it just seems like, hey, look what you've lost in the last year. So that's pretty much all I have on the SAFE Act. The lawsuits are still going, but honestly, and I'll say it flat out, I don't have much faith. Not that I don't have much faith in our people. They're good people. I've met them, the Tresmans, and I know a few of the other lawyers in there. In fact, one from the issue where the SAFE Act lawn sign was stolen. I mentioned this before by the cops. I know the lawyer in there. His name's Rick. I met them. They're good people, but just the way the system works, I don't see us getting our rights back before the big deadlines, because by January you have to have your ammo all registered, or not registered. You have to go through the background check for your ammo and stuff, and that system doesn't exist. So who the hell knows what's going to happen there? The only thing I think is going to happen is, like, when it's January 14th, the state's going to be like, you know what, we're just going to delay this, or something like that. Because, just so they don't look completely terrible. Because, God forbid they get, like, the people like the hunters up. Like, the hunters are just thinking, and this is actually true, this is why hunters scare the hell out of me. They're like, oh, well, yeah, I don't really see why anybody needs a full auto weapon. If you used an AR-15 against a deer, there wouldn't be any meat left. I mean, they're just so out of their minds. They don't understand ballistics. They don't understand laws. They don't understand actually anything about what they're talking about. If you took a little .223 round and compared it to a .308, which is a very popular hunting round, and the little one is going to destroy them, they're just out of their minds. It's just the media hype that they're buying. But if they got their ammo taken away, like they will on the 15th, because it's still going to be hunting season around here, when they want to go out and buy their turkey loads or their deer slugs or something like that, and they're not able to, oh boy, maybe they'll get fired up. But that's bullshit, because they should have been fired up as soon as the fucking pen was getting stroked there, when Andy was stroking the old pen, I know they use multiple pens when they're signing so people can have them as souvenirs. So when Andy was, using all his pens, they should have been flipping out at that moment. But no, all they're worried about is, ain't gonna affect me. I don't use none of them assault weapons to hunt my deer. Well, this again is like that poem about the Jews. First they came for the Jews and I said, no, now they came for me and there's nobody to speak for me. Very popular poem. I don't know if you've ever read it. But they need to wake up. Again, they should have woken up a long time ago. So that's pretty much it for the SAFE Act. Again, lawsuits are still out there. I just don't have faith they'll be in time. And in April, the assault weapons registration, you gotta have all your assault weapons registered. If I had any, I'd have to have all my assault weapons registered by that time. And when they were asked how many assault weapons they actually had registered in a recent Freedom of Information request, well, we're not really going to give that information out. Meaning, I don't want to say zero, because there are some turncoats that have already registered. Look at me, I already registered, I care about my family. Well, I have my own kind of feelings about those kind of people. But, meaning the numbers are pathetically low. They'll go ahead and release how many arrests were made under the SAFE Act, which they won't. What they won't tell you is about the things they were arrested for were already illegal beforehand. What they won't tell you about, they'll gladly tell you about that. They say, oh, thousands of arrests from the SAFE Act, but 99.9 were already illegal anyway. But they won't tell you how many assault weapons were registered, because it's top secret information. I don't buy it. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's about it for the SAFE Act. Now my channel, of course, I've been making less videos lately, and it does have to do with the SAFE Act. And it's not that I'm afraid to post anything because of the SAFE Act, though. It's just I've been really getting things set lately. I've been working, and I've been going out and buying guns and stuff. And yes, I actually have a gun purchased right now that I haven't showed you guys yet. I need to get everything I can before the S really hits the F, especially in January when you're not going to be able to buy ammo, because my view is a little different from other people's. Some other people like to buy guns only in the same caliber, like I want a 9mm this, I want a 9mm rifle, 9.999, so they can buy bulk ammo and use it for all their guns. And that's great. However, I have a view that if you buy a bunch of calibers, when the shortage actually happens, you might have a gun, you might have ammo available for a caliber that you own. And an example of this is last time there was a big ammo shortage, if you had all your 9s, if you only had 9s, you were screwed. If you only had 22s, you were screwed. 40s weren't actually that bad, and I happen to own a 40. So, while everybody could be looking for that bulk order of 9, I got 40 on the shelf right here. Plus, I'm into this, now that I'm into reloading, I'm into all the, different ballistics of the rounds and stuff like that. So I'm trying to spread out my calibers as much as possible. So, in fact, I'm going to pick up a gun tomorrow that I'm going to go wrap and put under the Christmas tree as my Christmas present. and that's fun. Fun fact: during the years between I was 22 and 23, I bought my first pink gun. Yes, oh my God, I bought a pink gun. Okay, I'll give you that. It's not actually a pink gun. It's not like a pink Ruger LCP or something like that. But it does have, the spectrum finishes on the Zippo. It looks like an oil stain. Well, it has bits that look like that, and it has bits that are like a metallic reflective pink. And oh my God, I think I just learned something. I'm a homosexual because if you have a pink gun, that means you like men. I'm not really a big fan of that. Be honest with you, pink looks hot on some things. I don't. Pink looks hot on women, so I don't know what to tell you. So yes, I bought my first pink gun. You can send all the hate mail you want now, but again, that's not a big deal for me. So if you can actually figure out what it is, it's got pink on it, and it's got the Zippo Spectrum color. And I won't give you the caliber because that would probably give it away. But it has a metal frame. I'll tell you that. It's not a Tupperware gun. Oh, it's semi-auto as well. So that's the one I'm picking up tomorrow. I have 2 more guns in my line. I actually planned at 3 guns in a head. This is how bad it's gotten with me trying to figure out what guns I want. I planned at 3 guns in a head. One I'm picking up tomorrow. The other one I have on layaway, and it's almost paid off. And that's going to be a gun that can take many calibers. And I have one that's going to be down the pipeline. That's going to be fun when we get there. But this is the reason that I've been kind of out of things. I've been trying to figure out how the SafeX is going to work. I've been reloading ammo. I've been, working to buy these guns and stuff, and I've been actually buying them. I've been just kind of all over the place here. So pretty much until January, unless I can squeeze them in, I don't know. I'm going to try to get more videos in there because I kind of feel like I've been neglecting the channel doing all this stuff. But I have been doing stuff that would be related to this channel, gun stuff and all that. So that's that, and that's just an update for this channel in case anybody was wondering. It's not like, oh, F this channel and all that stuff. No, I really want to. It's just I've been really, rattled about this SAFE Act ever since it came out. And, even on the forums, people send me messages, like, what should we do? Who can we get transfers from? Because they're trying to get all the guns that they can before, stuff starts getting crazy. Because say January 15th comes around, and it is, F you, no ammo. I mean, are you going to be happy that you have guns that can shoot calibers that you have ammo for? Or, I don't know what to tell you. So that's pretty much that. Now I think I can take a break now that I got the most important information out. And I'll probably come back to it because I'm all over the place like that. You should know by now. But looking back, was there anything that happened between 22 and 23 that isn't Firearm Safe Act related? Yes, there is. This year I actually became a scuba certified, open water diver, and that was very fun. I think I've mentioned this before, and I had a great time. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I finally did it. It was just happenstance the way it happened. I was supervising. I was being a lifeguard supervisor for the pool, and they were going to have a scuba class come in. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But usually it's just for, like, cops and, people that are, public servants that might need to use it for search and rescues. But, no, this was actually for anyone. And I talked to the guy there, and I got into the class. We made a class. I was going to get into his next class, and I did it. And I'm so glad that I did because it's honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made because it's just so fun. It's such a different world under there to see the world under the water. And I guess I got to explore this great state of New York. And, it's funny because some of the stuff you see, well, most of the stuff you see underwater where it's all grimy and dirty and stuff actually looks a lot better than the rest of New York State. I mean, I've been in Lake Champlain. I dove the shipwrecks on Lake Champlain up there at the General Butler and the Horse Ferry, if anybody is familiar with anything in that area. Close to Vermont, it was funny because we left from a marina in New York, and we actually crossed the state line into Vermont. And I was thinking, we crossed the state line over on Lake Champlain, and I was thinking, if I had a magazine right now, and I had put 8 rounds in it because I was in Vermont, and the boat went back over, all of a sudden I'd become a felon again. And that's just disheartening. See, there's me talking about the SAFE Act again. It's invading everything. This just shit I think about on the boat. But we dove there, and I dove in Lake George many times. That's always fun. And Lake Sacandaga, if anybody's familiar with that, we dove on the Conklinville Dam. That was fun. I think that was a really good decision to break up the monotony of thinking, oh my God, all my rights are getting taken away. I'm sure that now that I made this video and they realize that people can have some fun, doing shit that's not gun, doing scuba diving, I'm sure they're going to probably make that illegal. Probably going to have some sort of restriction on there. You can't have more than 500 PSI in your tanks because otherwise you might go too deep and die, That's dangerous. I mean, it's for the children, right? See, what else has happened? Well, I got some new guns this year. I got the NAA mini revolver. Got that for Christmas last year. I got the Smith & Wesson Model 28-2, which is 357 Magnum, and I think that was actually the last one. I think I only got 2 guns this year. Yep, because the one I got before that was the Remington 700, which I got at Black Friday at Dick's last year. So only 2 guns this year, but that's definitely going to go up between when I turn 22 and 23. Because like I said, I already got 3 on the roster, and one's coming tomorrow. One's probably coming in January, and one's probably going to be not until the summer of next year because it's an expensive one. Like, think Desert Eagle. But I'd like to remind you of the SAFE Act. There it is again! I can't get away from it! The Desert Eagle is illegal in New York now. And I've mentioned this before, but I need to reiterate it because it's the most ridiculous thing you'll ever hear. The reason the Desert Eagle, and I'm not making this up, you can look it up for yourself. The reason the Desert Eagle is illegal in New York is because it's shiny? No. Because the caliber's too high? No. Holds too many rounds in a mag? Nope. Because it's too heavy. Now, you heard me correctly. I said because it weighs too much. Now, if you're thinking, well, I don't really understand what weight has to do with anything, then welcome to my club. Welcome to see why we're not quite understanding this. Yeah. So, it's not the Desert Eagle, obviously, because it's illegal here, but think along those lines. And you should probably be able to figure it out. So, but that's further down the road. I did find out that Bud's Gun Shop online, popular gun place, has a layaway program, a 90-day layaway program. That really helps out because that means you can break up your payment. You can have the gun reserved for you, and you have 90 days to pay it off. So you can pay like $100 every week or so, and there you go. I mean, you're gonna get your gun. That's a lot better than paying all in one chunk. So I already got 3 guns lined up though, and so other than that, pretty uneventful year, I guess. Got scuba certified, and pretty much all my summer months were dedicated to that. And that was fun though. I really enjoyed that. I don't know. Again, most of the year's been on the SAFE Act and things to do with it, rallies and following the laws, following stories related to the laws. I think that's about it though. So 23, we'll see what between 23 and 24 yields. Predictions. I can't even tell you what's going to happen. You never know in this state, and you never know with me and anything like that. So, thanks for watching. If you're stuck in there for 22 minutes just to hear me talking about my birthday and the SAFE Act and my channel, that's amazing. But so I'll be definitely trying to make more videos because I have a list of videos that I do want to make. It's just whenever I get around to them, I'm doing other things, whether it be going down and reloading, 100 rounds of 40 because you never know when you're going to be able to find it, or working. I know I'm going to be working a lot this week, but we'll just see. I'll try to keep things in there. But I do thank you for everybody that stayed with me, even though I've been a little kind of a dry streak here, and I want to make some more videos where I'm showing you something, not where you're just looking at me, like maybe I'm showing you a Zippo or showing you something cool about a gun, something like that. There's been less videos of me shooting, like let's shoot videos. Would like to make more of those, but that has to do with I'm not sure how the range feels about having a camera in there, and when I go over to just like a secluded woods and stuff like that, you can never be too sure with this. So I'll have to, again, with the SAFE Act, you can never be too sure. We'll have to see what goes on with that. So just keep watching. I'm sure interesting things will happen. And again, I thank you so much for always staying in there, and take it easy, guys. Have a nice day.